Welcome back everybody, and welcome to the next video in my navigation series. And what I'm going to be covering today then is grid references. So what we're covering is what are grid references, how to take them, and what they're used for. Okay, grid references, what are they? A grid reference is a series of numbers, and sometimes digits too, that can actually pinpoint a specific point on a map. So you can refer to it, so when you're planning routes, or when you're out on the ground you need to tell someone where you are, for example emergency services, something like that, you can actually pinpoint that position where you are on the map, read it off and let that person know. Obviously using a GPS, that then can give you a grid reference as well, but if you don't know how to relate that to the map, then it's pointless having it, okay? So what I'll be doing next then is I'll show you how to actually take a grid reference off the map. Okay then, so we've previously spoken about the grid system on a map. Now, what the grid system consists of is northings and eastings, okay? So, as previously spoken about, the northings increase as you go up the map. So there's 4-3 there, 4-4 there, and this line here would be 4-5. The eastings increase as they go from west to east across the map. So we can see here we've got 3-5, 3-6, 3-7. The way we take a grid reference is first read off the eastings and then the northings. So if I wanted to give a 4-figure grid, which is accurate to 1 kilometre of this section here, the number I'd read off is 3644. So it forms an L in the bottom corner of that grid square. So the way we always remember the order of which way to give a grid reference is you go along the corridor followed by up the stairs. So this grid square here is 3-6 because I'm going along first, followed by 4-4. 3-6-4-4. So then, a 4-figure grid reference is only accurate to 1 kilometre. If we want to actually pinpoint our position on the ground, either that's used for planning a route or to actually let someone else know to communicate our position on the ground, what we need to do is make it more accurate. So then, a 6-figure grid reference is when we divide it down into 100-metre boxes within that kilometre grid square. So for example, this building here, if you was just to swag it without using any tools or anything, you divide the box up into 10 going left to right, and you'd say that was approximately 3-6-2, and then going up the stairs again 4-4, about 5. Okay, so what that's done is it's broken the boxes down into tenths of that box, and that grid reference is now accurate to 100 metres. If I was to use the Roma on a compass, what I'd do is I'd select the correct Roma, which is this one here for this map as a 1/50 scale map, and I'd place the corner of the Roma on the object where I want to take the grid reference of. So in this case I'd place it directly on here like so, and I'd read off eastings, so it's 3-6, and you'd read from the centre back the way, so 3-6-2, and then we remember this one's 4-4, so it's 4-4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about there, so I'll just move that slightly, yeah, 5, so 3-6-2, 4-4-5, and that's a 6-figure grid reference for this building here. Now for a 1/50,000 scale map, you can't go any more accurate than that, because this map is only actually accurate to 100 metres. So anyone that tells you they're going to give you an 8-figure grid reference or a 10-figure grid reference, which obviously gets more accurate and more accurate, you can't actually take one from this map. So what we're going to do now then is change maps to a 1/25,000 map and get a more accurate 8-figure grid reference. Okay then, so what we've got here is a 1/25,000 scale map, and the grid squares, they're set up exactly the same way. So you've got the eastings and the northings. The grid squares now though are 4 centimetres by 4 centimetres instead of 2 by 2, so they're bigger. This still represents from left to right and south to north. That's 1 kilometre from there to there and from there to there, but it's just a bigger scale, you know. So if I was to take a grid reference of this point here, this road junction, and I was just going to try and swag it, I'd say it's approximately 0, 1, 5, it's around about the centre, left to right, 7, 1, 5 again, approximately, maybe just lower than 5 possibly, but as a swag I'd say 0, 1, 5, 7, 1, 5. Now then, using the Roma on your compass to get a more accurate grid reference, the Roma you want to be using is this one here at the top, okay, on the corner. And again, what you want to be doing is placing the centre, the corner of that on the object you want to take a grid reference of, right on it there like so, and then you can start reading off your grid reference. So again, 0, 1, and then go across from there. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you always count the lower number rather than the higher number, no matter which one it's closest to. So that's 0, 1, 5, and then you've got 7, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just below the 5, so it still counts as a 4 actually, even though it's closer to the 5. So doing it more accurately, it'd be 0, 1, 5, 7, 1, 4. However, because it's a bigger grid system with a different scale, 1 in 25,000, you can see the in-between notches there, in between the numbers. So you've got 2 there, 3 there, but you've got this halfway one across. So what we can now do is take a more accurate grid by dividing the numbers in between down into 10 again. So what this will give us will be a grid reference down to 10 metres. So if I was to do this really accurately, I'll go across again. So I'll come across to 2, 4, 5, and then it's bang on in the centre, 5. So my eastings will be 0, 1, 5, 5, and then my northings would be 7, 1, 4, and that's about a 7. So what we've got is 0, 1, 5, 5, 7, 1, 4, 7. So that's an 8-figure grid reference taken from a 1 in 25,000 map, and that's now accurate to 10 metres. Now then, you can actually divide it down even more to a 10-figure grid reference. However, trying to do that with the tools we've got here, on the scale we've got here, it's not really workable. I'd say 10 metres is probably practically the most accurate you're going to get for a grid reference using up to a 1 in 25,000 map. If you need to get more accurate than that, a 10-figure grid will get you down to 1 metre accuracy. You need to get a bigger scale map. Okay, so that's how to take a grid reference. Okay then, to make the grid reference absolutely unique to any point in the UK, what we also need to quote is a 10,000 kilometre grid zone designator, and that is marked in all the corners, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right of the map, and any point on that map where the northings or eastings go through the 0, 0 and then recount again. So if I was to quote a grid reference on this map, then the grid zone designator for this map here on the top right hand corner is SO. So you'd say SO first, followed by either the 6-figure, 8-figure, 10-figure grid reference, depending on what type of map you're using and how accurate you want to be. That's not so important if you're just navigating on foot. If you're just, recording your own distances and stuff, because obviously that only changes every 100 kilometres. It becomes more important for when you're travelling by vehicle, by aircraft, stuff like that. But like I say, that's the only way you'll make it absolutely unique to one point anywhere in the UK, because as what I mentioned in the maps, of those boxes that are 100 by 100 kilometres each way. Okay, so that's just a quick talk through grid references, what they are, how to take them, what they're used for. It's all really basic stuff, but it's really good life-saving skills as part of learning how to navigate, and being able to plot a grid reference on the map is a very important basic skill. If you've got stuff like your smartphones, your GPSs and stuff that will give you a grid reference, pretty much, you know, they're not going to be too much use to you unless you can actually relate them to a map, work out where you are, you know, where you're moving to and stuff like that. If you ever find yourself with a, you know, bad incident when you're out in the hills one day where maybe you get injured or one of your party gets injured, or you've got someone of, you know, hypothermia or stuff like that, and you need to call the emergency services, being able to actually plot your own grid reference off a map, not using something like a GPS because that might go down, the batteries might run out or whatever, is a very important skill to actually pinpoint yourself and get them to you to save that person's life, okay? So hopefully this has been of some use to people out there. Navigation is a perishable skill. If you haven't practiced it for a while, it's one of those things that kind of fades away a little bit. So I will be running navigation courses this year, hopefully, God willing, you know, with the way things are, hopefully we'll get back to normal pretty soon. So keep your eyes peeled on the website and on the Facebook page, and we will start announcing dates for things like navigation courses and other, you know, endurance events and stuff like that. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you soon. Keep low and move fast.